Ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next speaker, she's one of Australia's top agents, owner of a boutique standout brand, Shelter Real Estate, and a master of turning community into conversation. In a noisy market, she's the signal. Zali is going to walk you through how she farms her market with depth, not just reach, and how a well-structured director's EBU gives her leverage, balance, and longevity. You'll see why your community shouldn't just recognise your signs, they should feel your values. Please welcome Zali Reynolds.
I'm really nervous. I do this, but I don't do this all that often. So I'm going to be one of those nervous speakers. I think they purposely put me after the marketing guy because marketing is something that I am super, super passionate about. And this wasn't actually at the start of my talk, but I just want to read to you the mission statement that kind of really got Shelter going before we even started the business. So I sat down with a piece of paper and a pen and literally just kind of did this brain dump. And here's what came. Life is short and we are all striving to achieve. Searching is what we do. We fossick and hunt for that next big thing. We crave success in the day-to-day. In our relationships, in our work. We have an innate need to belong, to be loved, to love in return, and especially to love ourselves. No matter if it is in people, in a career, a goal, a religion, a passion, a family, a friendship, or a love, we are all seeking shelter. And that was the statement that really got me on the path of creating Shelter and creating the brand that I have today. So, I'm not actually here to talk to you about branding, but I just wanted to throw that in. These are our values at the start of my presentation. Be a good human, make a positive difference, and find enjoyment. And that's the way that we run our business, run our lives, and is really at the core of Shelter. But today I am here to talk to you about prospecting. So I'm going to apologise in advance to anyone who's seen me speak before because it's pretty much a similar talk. And you've heard some of the things that have been spoken about already today, but I'm going to go into some more detail. I did not get the memo from Manos that today was the what day because a lot of my presentation is the how. So sorry about that, Manos, but we'll get there. So prospecting in a crowded market. Hang on, I've gone backwards. This is one of my favourite sayings. A bad system will beat a good person every time. I think in real estate, we look up to some of the really big real estate agents, and James Tossovan's been mentioned. I know Matt Pilios is speaking later today. We look up to, Alexander Phillips, all those types of guys. And we think, oh my gosh, they must have something magic. They must have like a magic wand. And, even the guys in my office say to me, oh, how do you get so many appraisals? You must have this Zali magic. There's no magic, I can tell you. There's a system and there's consistency. And a bad system will still beat a good person every time. Oh, I'm going to get this right soon. So, I'm going to talk about 3 of my prospecting systems today: farming, listing leverage, and networking. So I have a system for absolutely everything, but these are the 3 that I want to focus on today. Some of the guys have already talked about farming, so sorry if I'm going over things. I'll try and go through it as quickly as possible. My farm area is Glen Iris. It's an area that I actually just fell into. I shouldn't admit that because I think choosing your farm area is a really important thing. What normally happens is people go to an agency or they get a job in real estate. The boss says, hey, nobody's farming this area. I think you should go farm it, right? But is that a farm area that really suits you as a person and has the right kind of ingredients? I was lucky. I got kind of thrown into this area, but it does suit me. So it's actually been a really good farm area for me. Your farm area, when you're choosing it, has to have around 1,000 homes. So Glen Iris is obviously a big suburb. I don't farm the whole suburb. I used to. I started small, built up, and then in 2024 I decided that was my sabbatical or breakdown year or whatever you want to call it, and I had some time off. And so I'm actually starting again. So I've started again this year and kind of gone back to basics. The guys in my office absolutely pilfered my database, so we get to kind of, see if this system actually works. And so far, so good. I think a lot of people try and get big farm areas. It doesn't work. And Linda was talking about this earlier. She says, you've got to focus on a patch. If you try and focus on a whole suburb, on 2,000 homes, on 3,000 homes, you're not able to have the consistency. It has to have consistent turnover. And this is one thing that a lot of people don't get right. They want to sell the high-end homes and the turnover's not there. You need to have consistent turnover. And that's the great thing about Glen Iris. It has really, really good turnover. A good average sale price. So obviously if you want to build your business, I loved the speaker before, the branding guy, who has amazing balance in life, but you only get that by having good average fees and consistent turnover. You can't have balance in your life if your fees are terrible. High level of owner-occupied homes, or a way to contact owner-occupied homes. I mean, how good's ID for me now? Some of the guys in my office don't believe that never existed. We actually used to have to go and find the numbers, but now they're just there, which is excellent. Appropriate competition, a relatable demographic, and passion for the area. I think, appropriate competition's a really big one for me because, I think a lot of people go into an area and they think, oh my gosh, I want to sell big homes in Brighton. I actually did that. I thought, you know what, I can have a go in Brighton. Matt's really good at what he does. He is amazing at what he does, and he has really good market share. That's hard to break when somebody's already got that market share. I think it would be very hard for someone to come into Glen Iris and compete with the agents that are currently in Glen Iris. So you've got to find an area where there's not one dominant agent. You have to like the people you work with. That's one thing. I was talking to a guy in the break, and he clearly loves the area he works in, even though he did have a bit of a joke about it. You have to like those people. I want to like going to work every day. And you have to like the area. So what do you do then? You break it down. So I broke it down into streets and actually counted the exact number of homes. This is just an example. I track everything. So obviously in the last slide we were talking about letterbox drops and branding and doing it 6 times a year. If I'm doing something 6 times a year, I want to make sure that I'm getting a return on it. So a letterbox drop that works really well, you can do again. If you don't get a response from it, then don't do it again. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of agents make is, they go onto the websites, the platforms, they just print off whatever's there, or they print off something that, they might have heard at a conference like this and think it's going to work for their area, and it may not. You've got to come up with new ideas, and you've always got to be looking at your return on investment. Okay, you have to know your farm. I'm sure that all of you guys, none of this is new, but you absolutely have to know it inside out. I actually did a study tour recently, which was amazing. Highly recommend. Been in real estate over 20 years, never done a study tour. It was really, really good. And I don't know if any of you have heard of Pulse Property up in Sydney. Ben Pike, I went to his office and got to meet him and have a chat about what they do. And they take this to the next level. Like, it is unbelievable what they know about their marketplace. So they just are like detectives. Every single person who bids on a property, whether it's their property or another agent's property, they find out who the bidders are. They find out what they bid to. They send people to other agents' auctions. They have absolute, complete, utter knowledge of their farm area. Then the person whose farm area is, if another agent gets a lead in that area, that person who works in that area will help out the other agent to get the listing in their farm. Because let's face it, and they don't put their hand out for it. Because let's face it, if you help another agent in your office get a listing in your farm area, that's only going to help you. That's, a board in your farm is going to help you get more boards, okay? You're going to help your colleague get a listing by having that knowledge. The knowledge that he requires his agents to have is so next level, it just blew me away. So, that's the basics. Am I going too fast? Nope, keep going. So, these are the seeds that I use, because obviously I'm a farmer, so I need some seeds. There can be a lot more seeds than just this. These are the ones that I use, and obviously social media is something that is a big thing nowadays. I'm going to be completely honest, I hate social media. It is not my forte. I understand that it works exceptionally well for people. I do have a social media platform. I do have a reasonable amount of followers, but it's there as a consistent branding tool rather than as a pillar for me. So if it's not something that you engage with or are passionate about, you don't have to do it. I think it was Michael Sheargold that said when you're prospecting, you have to have kind of 4 pillars of leads coming into the machine, or a certain amount of pillars. You can't just do letterbox shopping, you can't just do cold calls, you can't just do social media. You have to have a few pillars. Social media is not part of my pillars because I don't really enjoy it, but I have other people in my office who are really, really amazing at it, and they get leads from it. I like calling, I like networking, I like meeting people face to face. That's kind of part of my pillars. So the seeds. So we've bought our farm, we've tilled the soil, we've got the seeds, we're ready to plant. So this is when I was farming as a solo agent, this was what I would do. So Mondays I would do all my OFI callbacks and e-brochures and suburb reports. So if I'd met a potential vendor who was selling at an open for inspection, they got a callback and they got a suburb report on what's happening in their area. Tuesdays I always worked on buyer sellers and networking. Wednesdays I did letterbox drops. So I would letterbox drop every single morning, but then I'd do bigger ones by myself. So this was when I was lonesome. Thursdays open for inspections, door knocks, and specific notes. I think a lot of agents do open for inspections on a Thursday, and then they're like, oh, gee, done 3 opens, bloody tired, got to go get a coffee, time to have the afternoon off. I would use that time, if I didn't have opens, to actually do extra work out in the field. So being out in your farm is really important. Between appointments, between open for inspections, being in the cafes, going to the local dry cleaners, actually being seen is really important. I never lived in my farm until about a month ago. The amount of people I see in my, just being out and about is unbelievable, and that is better networking than anything. And then Fridays I would do listing leverage and database. I'm going to go a bit into listing leverage as well. Saturdays, open for inspections, market knowledge and LBDs. It's been a long time since I've worked after opens on a Saturday, and I've just got 2 new people in my team, and they go back to the office and call all the buyers on a Saturday, and it's given me a bit of a kick up the arse that I've got to get back on it. So that'll happen soon. So yearly, this is what it looks like yearly for me with a marketing plan. So newsletter, suburb report, price drive letter, A5 mailer in February. I can send you examples of all of this, but you don't even need them from me. You can just Google them. Personalised letter. I just want to touch on the 2 of them. July, which is the rates notice. So I've spoken about this before. Does everybody know what a price drive letter is? Yes, yep. So the rates notice is a price drive letter, but it talks about your rates value. So the first line so in my area, rates notices get sent out in July. And so I do this drop at the end of July, early August, depending on the week that the council send it out. And it says, you've recently received your rates notice. Is it correct? ? That's the heading. And then I say, I'm going to be in your street doing up-to-date appraisals, the same as a price drive letter, to check that the council have your valuation correct. I get a lot of response from that because nobody wants to be paying more rates than they absolutely have to. So there's a lot of just updates, but obviously it's adding to my database, it's getting to know people, getting to see them face to face. I did get 1 call from the council a few years ago, and they said, what do you mean, is the rates notice correct? Of course it's correct. And I said, well, have you been inside the houses? Oh, no. Okay, do you know exactly what's in there? They kind of said to me, you can't do that. And I said, well, sue me. And they never did. So we kept going. And the other one I wanted to touch on also is Christmas cards. The amount of business that I get from Christmas cards is unbelievable. So I've been sending Christmas cards pretty much to the whole of Glen Iris for the last however long, 15 years or so. It's a big production in my office. We start in October. It's an excellent way to clean my database. So whether I don't write all of them, so I have obviously team members that write them. In between what we're doing, everyone's writing Christmas cards. And I reckon that, probably about, 2,000 or 3,000 go out every year, depending on how much time we have. Listing leverage, I'm going to run out of time. So listing leverage is really simple. We just leverage around every single listing that we have. And, boards breed boards, we all know that. It's non-negotiable in my team and in my business that if you list a property, you call the street, you letterbox the street multiple times, you call it once it's sold. If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. I'd love to get to the point where we can take this to doing it around other agents' listings as well because, I think I want to be the knowledge keeper of everything real estate in my area. So I'd love to kind of take that to the next level, but we're not quite there yet. Networking, one of my favourite things to do. I mean that, Jordan. I'm not just saying that. He doesn't believe me, but I do like networking. What I love about networking is probably different to what a lot of people here love about networking, as you can see from the kind of networking that I do. I love going to school trivia nights. I love being part of the Mother's Day lunches, the breakfasts. I actually really enjoy Rotary. That's one that I've only discovered recently. Rotary is, it's a group of people who live in the area who are all a little bit older, if I can say that. Most of them are retired, and they very often, I would say, most of them own multiple properties. So where can you go to meet people that own multiple properties and want to be helpful and want to, increase the community feel and vibe? And you get dinner as well. It's pretty good. Client nights. My client night that I do is I do a movie night every year. So everyone does different things, but movie night works really, really well for me. We invite everybody on the database to the movie night. Sometimes it's been absolute mayhem. Not this year, but last year we booked out this Rivoli in Camberwell. So it's got 488 seats in their biggest cinema. And we filled it and people just kept coming. So then I had to say, can we have another cinema? So we took another cinema, so we filled 2 cinemas. But it was amazing. It was really good and it's something that people remember. Because I took a little bit of a break last year, I actually had people come up to my team and say, when's the movie night happening this year? When's Zali having a movie night? And because I wasn't around, I didn't have the movie night. So when I did it this year, everybody was really happy that it was back. So everybody loves a free movie ticket. Other important systems for life and real estate. You will have to take a photo of this one, maybe. How are you going to get your property sold? Are you auction, private sale, listing, an evening routine, email system, voicemail, messages, diary, to-do list, everything. I have a system for all of this stuff. Housework, note-taking, exercise, blah, 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 blah. These are all the things that you have to have actually working really well, systemized in your life in order to be a top-performing agent. Another good saying, Matt LaHood. I heard this on do you guys remember the Hot Topic CDs? Yeah, love them. I've still got them, can't give them away. But I remember Matt LaHood said this on one of those Hot Topic CDs. He said, if you don't have a PA, you are a PA. And I truly believe that. Because if you, I'm not trying to be mean to PAs, please, in the room, but in reality, if you don't have a PA, you are a PA. And if you want to get to that next level, figure out how you are going to get to the next level to be able to get yourself a PA. Okay, I'm going to skip over all of this because I have 1 minute and 50 left. So, VA, PA, blah, 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 blah. You guys can do this. Oh, that's my team. Just got to show you. So I can't do my life without my team. Seriously, they are freaking amazing. So, especially Manet, who's not here today. Magic Manet. So I just want to touch on what we all do this for. And I think there's been a few people that have already touched on it today, but we set these goals to give us purpose. Our purpose gives us faith in life. Faith gives us courage to do things that we really want to do. Courage gives us enthusiasm. Enthusiasm gives us energy, and energy is life. And life gets you up and out of bed every day. So I just want to share with you quickly, hang on, I'll go through this. This is what I want to share with you. So this is my purpose. Yeah, there. So I started Shelter other than to sell houses and have pink signs everywhere because I love the colour pink, to build houses. So at Shelter, every four houses that we sell, we build a house through a charity partner in Cambodia. Now this is for like the poorest of the poor. So these houses, as you can see, are not glamorous houses, but some of these people are living under, pieces of tin, plastic tarps, sleeping, you think, we have a homeless problem here in Melbourne, like it's just nothing. It is just not even comparable to what exists in third world countries. And so Cambodia is my passion, and so far we've built 156 homes. We just paid for another 30, so thank you. And that's why I do this, That's why I get up, that's why I allow people to, that's why I go through the rejection, that's why I do it all, is because these people, it changes their lives. To be able to have a place where you can lock up your things, where you can safely go to the bathroom, is life-changing for these people. They can send their kids to school, they can get jobs, all of the above. So, do I have time to show this? Thank you. Oh, hang on. I don't know how to play it. Can you play it for me? Thank you. This is my next thing. Oh, while they're getting it sorted. So Reach is so we've been building the houses for a while, and I've been trying to figure out how to give back through property management. So we're supporting a school in Siem Reap called Reach, where they'll tell you what they do.
My name is Samban. I'm a social worker. I'm really happy to working with Rich. I'm doing enrollment for the student. Yeah, before I can enroll the student, I have to visit their house first. We would like to know about the condition of their living. So how big is the house? So what is the problem that they face in the living? The house that we visit is very, very small, and sometimes they have only one room for their family. They can cook there inside the house. They eating, they sleeping as well. And some people living on the government road, so they don't have the house, but they feel like a curtain. Yeah. So normally all of them they don't have the clean water to drink. Yeah, they use the water from the river. Yeah, sometimes they are reaching the small well by their own. Most of the parents in the family, they are the construction worker, they are baker and rubbish picker, and some people they have no job. When their parents ask for work, so they left their children at home. So it's very dangerous for them to stay at home alone, and then until they come back in the evening time. It is very important for the students that enroll at our school, because our organization have a lot about their family in supporting their study. They can study, they can continue to study at the high education like the university, and they can afford to find a good job. They can be the good people in the society. All the family we have visit is in Clomondo village, because we would like to support the community, and as well all their house is living near the bridge. Now we have been visit more than 100 of families in Clomondo village, and the parents they are really happy and excited to send their children to join the baby. Also, we finished the enrollment, so the student cannot wait for opening the school. Thank you for your support.
lady who set this up, she's the most amazing woman you've ever met, Emily. She's only 30. She built this whole school. She has 356 kids that go there. And if the kids go to school for 80% of the term, they get given food, rice, eggs, and nutritional supplements, not just for them, but for their whole family. So she's trying to make generational change so that these kids aren't out begging or rubbish picking, that they are able to actually get their families out of that poverty. 2 weeks ago, they had their first ever Year 12 graduation ceremony, and they had 12 kids graduate, which is so exciting. So the next challenge is obviously lining up university places and jobs like that, but she's so very involved. If you would like to help, I'm here today, as most of the speakers are doing this because we love the industry. So this is me asking you to give something back. Next year, we're having a fun run for Reach. We did one last year. It was half real estate agents, so please come down. You'll see all your friends. It's not very expensive. You don't have to run, but it's a really great morning where we have, we just go around Princess Park twice. It's good fun, and, we're trying to raise as much money as we possibly can so that Emily can continue to enrol more children in the school. The need is so great. The footage that you saw, that's not just one area. That is literally the whole country. So, and they're not that far from us. It's not, halfway around the world. So please, if you can, help. Thank you. I'm Zali. Bye.
Thank you, Zali. Thank you so much.